How did you manage your profile? मतलब कितना difficult होता है security में काम करना?
See, I would not say it is difficult, but again, all those parts of cybersecurity which I just named, all are interlinked.
What is a common problem you find when you interview a candidate for SOC or any other profile into the cybersecurity?
When I take interview, I ask that tell me the difference between a brute force attack and a password spraying attack.
तो आपकी क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन होगी if you are hiring me और मेरा you know this बंदे को 10,000 से ऊपर देना पड़ेगा दिरहम, तो क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन होगी कि मेरे से क्या नॉलेज की एक्सपेक्टेशन होगी आपकी?
So from my side personally, when I interview any candidate, my first thing is to understand what do you know about cybersecurity. India still has the best knowledge. India still has the best skillful people. India still has the best skill set.
एक SOC में if someone wants to start in Dubai, कहाँ से कितने तक पैकेज मिल जाता है बंदे को on an average?
It starts from 6 to 7,000, goes till 14,000.
It's a good package.
Yeah, it's a very good package. If you compare from India, even managers are not getting this much of
This
package.
is beyond.
Yes.
So hi Sonit, how are you?
Hi.
So thank you very much for joining us for this amazing podcast. So Sonit, of course, before I start, I want you to introduce yourself. So our audience should come to know what exactly you're doing, Sonit.
So I'm Sonit Thakur. I have started my career in IT back in 2005 actually. I have completed my studies, and then even before my graduation I have started my computer education parallelly. Because of some reasons I actually had to start earning also. So that's how I started. I started learning basic IT things, generally other people do. My passion was programming initially. Of course, I started programming myself in C, C++. That was in 2003.
2003?
Yeah.
Very early stage.
Yeah. I mean, my pickup in IT was pretty much very high. Like 0 to 100 in 3 seconds kind of a thing. Because I started like with the normal IT courses, because I was not aware, because back then even in our schools computers were not introduced.
Right.
So for us, first time when I typed on a computer was in my 12th class. There were a few people who started computer education as a module. They tried to start actually in our college, but not as a syllabus.
Okay.
So that time we got chance first time, to type something on computer.
Okay.
So the first thing which everybody does was typing your name on DOS prompt. Back then we didn't know what exactly is this. We used to know that, okay, fine, maybe this is the computer. So that's how it has started. Then after 12th, I have started, I joined actually one normal basic course to know that.
Okay.
What is computers, how to use it. So basic DOS, how to use computer.
Achha, that time there was a course, computer course.
Basic computer course. Like
I do remember.
MS Office, you remember.
I do remember
DOS,
that courses.
Operations of normal computer,
Yes.
and then MS Office. So I did this.
So many institutes were there, AppTech and some name like
that. So many actually. And I thought that time people were learning and then coming out and opening a institute
for computer training.
Yeah, for computer. So that was the age, because it was introduced to normal public in such a way. So I started like that. After doing that first course, I get involved. I liked the computers actually. And then I started another course with programming immediately after that, which should not be the case actually, or which should have not been the case actually. But yes, I liked, and I started my course with C. That time that was C and C++ used to be the programming languages. So that's how my interest developed in programming and then computers. After that, I did few courses just for knowledge of computers, basic programming, database, those kind of courses. And then I started teaching computers also.
Okay.
This is my experience, that if you teach something, you learn it fast.
From the depth.
Yeah, from the depth.
Yeah.
So I completed my basic course. I started teaching the basic course. Then I started learning my languages. Once I finished that, then I started teaching those languages again. So that has become my passion for 2-3 years. But then again, as I told that I belong to UP actually.
Okay.
So in my hometown, there is no such IT jobs. If you talk about IT jobs, back then also used to be, if you remember those, those cyber cafes and job work kind of things. People are coming and asking you to draft some documents for you, resumes for you. Oh, these kind of jobs were there, but no such IT jobs actually. So yeah, as you are also from Delhi, so you know that everybody from UP moves out to Delhi NCR. Because this is the hub for IT jobs.
True.
So I also had to come to Delhi NCR. But unfortunately, my first job which I started was not an IT job. That was a non-IT job, but yes, on computers. I don't know if you know that in telecom companies, generally they have a system. Because you go to any big telecom company, Airtel, BSNL, whoever. So it's a very big infrastructure.
Right.
So when they deploy cables, fibers, everything, so they need a complete database. So that database making is itself a project. So what they do is they outsource it to other companies. So I started my first job in Delhi NCR with one of those companies. These are maps actually.
Okay.
So your geographical maps, where you mark the cables actually.
Okay.
On the map, that okay, this cable route is like this.
Achha.
This will be the master DP. This will be the DP. These many pairs will be there. So it will become a Bible database for their technical team.
Got it.
So this is a very lengthy job.
Right.
You need to go. So we used to work on AutoCAD actually that time.
Achha.
So in AutoCAD, you will drag those cable lines.
You learn AutoCAD as well.
Not learned, but yeah, because this was part of the job. So we just got a initial basic understanding how to draw that. You don't need a
master
knowledge of AutoCAD to do that. Even if you can draw on paint, you can do that. But yeah, technically you should be sound because you need to understand what exactly you are doing and what is the relevance of it. So I started from there.
And it was back in?
It was back in 2005.
Now 2005.
Yeah, okay. 2003, 4, I think. And the fortunate thing in that company was one of the very big telecom companies' office was nearby. So when we used to go out for tea or something, we used to meet those people. So after around 8-9 months, I switched back because my passion was IT only. And I was in a need of job as well. So I tried to find out a few people who we met actually, just like that. Talk about it. Is there any job? I can get something.
So this is your first job?
In Delhi NCR, yes. As a job, it was the first job.
Would you mind to share what was your salary?
Back then?
Yeah.
My salary net in hand was 3,200. And for that salary, I left my town. I came to Noida.
Okay.
Yeah. The problem was why I came for this much of salary.
Right.
Because if I would have not taken that step, maybe I would have been in my hometown only.
True.
And doing something else.
You're not sitting here.
Of course, maybe. Sometimes, God pushes you. Nature pushes you that you do this. You don't know that time. You think, man, this is my hard time. What my luck, my God is pushing me for. But if you jump, you understand when you land. Okay, this was the point he was pushing me to reach actually. That time was hard because again 3,200 is nothing.
Not say.
Right? So that time we started. Then I switched back to the telecom company field job.
Okay.
That was also not on their roles. That was on third party roles. You remember when DSL and this broadband came in India, in Delhi NCR basically.
Right.
That time, 2005, 6 again, that time. And it was like everybody was, going for broadband connections that time.
Yes. So 128 kbps speed.
Yes.
128
kbps. 128 to 2 Mbps.
Yeah, it was that.
128 that time used to be, you remember those modems which used to sound
remember.
like.
So कौन सा tool होता था जिस पे रात को movie लगा के सोनी होती थी? torrent करके कुछ होता था वहाँ से निकालते थे.
Correct.
And you have to download it in the whole night. 900 MB.
1 GB.
Yeah. 256 वाले जिसके घर में connection है क्या MBs तो like वो तो बहुत ही rich बंदा है. So average people having 128 और वही रखते थे.
People used to share actually.
Yes.
Because back then internet was so costly in India.
So costly.
Now India is the cheapest country in terms of telecom and internet. Yes, one of the cheapest country. This is where I started then. As a field job, used to deploy those modems. Sometimes end user, sometimes companies. So modems, routers, troubleshooting.
Okay.
I jumped into that because I didn't want to lose the track in IT. And believe me, trust me, when I joined that job, that was completely for network. And when I thought to join it, I was zero in network.
Achha.
I didn't know anything. So I met people. As I told you in my company, they told me that you need to know this, you need to know this. I started learning something. Back then, internet was not there.
Yeah.
So you find few books, read it, sit with someone who can tell you that, okay, this is network. Being in computers, yes, I knew that what is IP, what is this and that. Basic knowledge was there, but not the knowledge which was required for that job. But I registered for that. I asked him that, okay, can I join? He said yes. So I got an interview, passed it, started my work there. So there I worked like almost 2 years, maybe 2 years and a half. I had an accident also, so I was not in job for 4 or 5 months. After that, my first job as a corporate job which I got was in Delhi.
Achha.
As a regional IT in one of the brands.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a well-known garment brand actually.
Achha.
So I got an opportunity there to work as a regional IT manager, or not manager. The position was not tagged as manager.
Achha.
But I was the only person in the whole North region.
So you're the manager after all.
You can say.
Whole and soul.
Practically, I was doing it. So from there, I can say that yes, the career started in the corporate sector. And I can say that, yeah, this was the first job as a corporate job. After that, I worked with many companies into retail, into real estate, oil and gas, manufacturing, leisure business.
Okay.
And high street fashion garments.
Okay.
And now here I'm working with MSSP, which is managed security service providers.
Managed security service.
So this was a brief journey of how we reached here.
So total years in IT you have completed is
20 years.
20 years in the IT.
Yeah.
So definitely you're sitting here at this level. So what is your accountability today like to the security in the field of security?
If I talk about my responsibility as a cybersecurity lead, I am handling SOC.
Okay.
I'm managing SOC for the company, NOC, the GRC part, compliance, risk assessment, and cybersecurity as operations.
Okay.
So this is what I'm handling as of now. Because it's an MSSP, so yes, we have our customers. So we are delivering all that to our customers also.
So how did you manage these many roles? एक तो सबसे पहले security is one of the critical thing.
Yeah.
Critical काम.
Yeah.
ठीक है. It's named like a security. ऊपर से you need to manage all this part, SOC and the other things. How did you manage your profile? मतलब कितना difficult होता है security में काम करना?
See, I would not say it is difficult, but again, all those parts of cybersecurity which I just named, all are interlinked.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is not that, like an infrastructure, you see that operating system management is something else, database management is something else, network is something else. So it's not like this. When we talk about cybersecurity, you can understand it as a theory of encapsulation. Anybody who have done programming, they know encapsulation. Encapsulation means you are covering something in some other wrapper, and then the same package covered again in some other wrapper. Extra layers
Yes.
On top of it to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Infrastructure network is the core layer.
Right.
Your infrastructure, your assets, your servers, your network, your devices, your data, your information. This is the core for cybersecurity.
Yes.
Then on top of it, there are layers, which you can say like security controls.
Yes.
Which are there to protect them. Then you have monitoring on top of it. Okay, you protected it. Now you need to monitor that my protection is working or not working. So there comes your SOC NOC part to monitor it. On top of it, then you start thinking about what else we can do, how we can improve that. So then your GRC, compliance, risk assessment part comes on top of it. And this whole thing called as cybersecurity practices or operations.
Excellent answer. That was my next question, cybersecurity in your words, but you have explained it. Efficient answer, what I can say. बहुत ही ultimate तरीके से answer मिला. Yes, this is all makes the cybersecurity.
This all together makes cybersecurity. We generally do a mistake considering that cybersecurity is something else, came from some alien word, and you need to do something different to be into cybersecurity. No, same thing. I mean, as you go to the hospital, one is your dentist, another one is your specializations. One is dentist, orthopedic, skincare, this and that. And they all are sitting in a hospital.
Right.
Correct? So you can say that if you are not well, you don't say I'm going to this, I'm going to that. You simply, what do you say? You say I'm going to hospital. So that's the cybersecurity.
True. So you have amazing, knowledge, everything you have today, because you have tried each and everything almost. If we talk about this cybersecurity, your journey till this level. So that's why I think you're managing each and everything by sitting in Dubai, country like Dubai.
Fortunately, yeah, I can say. I would say that this was the time, actually, what I can say. Circumstances, situations which came in my life, fell in my life actually, and made me to reach here.
So it's a fortunate situation, right?
I say yes, because there are so many people, who try to do something.
Exactly.
They put efforts also.
Yes.
But they could not reach. Right. So I would say that it's not only me who did it. Yes, it was there were fortunate situations. Back then, those were not fortunate at all for me. But now I can think, yes, if
it's like a mix of both the things. You struggled, you work hard. That story you started, like you're a guy who's putting the designing the cable. You're the guy who's putting the modem in the house. Right?
Yes.
Long time back. And that makes sense. You're sitting in here and I'm taking, all these suggestions. I'm going to take all these suggestions from you now. So all because in your experience now, what designation you carried and you're working on it, you're hiring in different places. You're hiring different types of, you interviewed many candidates. What is a common problem you find when you interview a candidate for SOC or any other profile into the cybersecurity?
Okay, I'll tell you one story and then we'll move on to your answer.
Okay.
I think that story will be related to your answer.
Perfect.
Which happened with me actually. When I was studying computers, as I told you, after my basic course, I started learning languages, C, C++. I was learning, there was one teacher who was teaching me that. I always had this habit to, I cannot agree to something which is not logical to me.
Achha.
So, if it is not logical to me, you prove me wrong or you agree to me. Only two things. I don't know, it is good or bad. I never try to judge it. Maybe
depending on the group you're sitting.
But yes, so I started C language. I was learning C language. And in C, everybody knows about arrays.
Yeah.
You define array, there's a length of array. So we were on a class where we were learning about passing an array into a function. So in C, you have functions, small modules which you can create. So my teacher told me at that time, who was my teacher, he told me that whenever you are passing an array to a function, you will have to pass the length of the array also to the function. Otherwise, your program will not work.
Okay.
This was the statement. Okay, we heard it. I was learning. I didn't know anything. There was something which was not, adding up for me. Why I need to pass the length of array in my function, whether I already know what is the length of my array.
Achha.
I'm coding, right? I'm the programmer. I'll code. So there is a length of array. How many values that array can hold.
Okay.
So for an example, if the length of your array is 10, so his statement was you will have to pass this 10 into a variable so that your function can understand what is the length of your array.
Okay.
I said, is it mandatory? He said, yes, it is mandatory. If you will not do it, your program will not work. I said, okay, fine. That time I was not in a position to argue anything. So I went back. That time I used to teach. I used to attend my classes. And then in the night time, I used to do my practice.
Achha.
So back then, I used to do programming till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And I was so into it. After this incident, of course, not before that. So I tried, I practiced, and I find no, this statement is wrong.
Achha.
Even if I pass array without the length, my program will work. Next day, I said the same thing. No, this is wrong. I can make the program and it will work. He said, no, it will give you an error. I said, I can prove.
Achha.
Okay. We went to the lab with all 6-7 other students. I made a small 5-6 line program, passed the array without any length, and it worked. Because it is logically correct. Then he went to my center head, complained about me,
Achha.
and said, I will not teach him. His center head called me. Sonit, this is the situation. Now he don't want to teach you. What will you do? I said, okay, fine. But I need a favor from you. And tell me, because I was teaching few basic computer batches also in the same institute. So I asked him, I need a favor. You just give me access to the lab anytime I want. I will complete my course on my own. That was only for C. He said, okay, fine. It's not a problem. You are anyways teaching. So anyways, anytime you want, you can come and use the lab, computer lab, because that time I was not having any computer at my home. So then I started learning from 3 books, different. One, which was given to us as a course book. Another one, which was recommended as a good book. And third one, which I found after searching market and, which I found that book was a very thin book, very small book, but written by the creator of C.
Achha.
So the people who made the C compilers, actually, they wrote that book. They both used to work in IBM. I started gathering that information and I started learning C from the compiler help. Like you were learning Windows from Windows help.
Yeah.
How to create a folder, how to do this. So in C compiler, I started doing this. So this is how I started learning. And before my batch finished regularly in my institute, I finished that. I went beyond my course because I was learning on my own, and I created a paintbrush tool in DOS.
Achha.
In C, having all Windows features, like Dropbox, different cursor, color selection, all drawing things. That time Windows XP came with rounded corners. Everybody was so fascinated about rounded corner Windows. You remember? So I try to make those things in my project.
Achha.
This is what I could do. And now I realize if he would have not denied to teach me, I would have not learned this.
Seriously.
So this is how things happens. So again, your question was
the mistakes from the candidate. What do you expect from a candidate?
Correct.
What they commonly do.
So your question was about candidate. That what questions? What do you see in a candidate when you hire?
Chalo, let's go in that way. Yes. What do you see in a candidate when you're hiring?
Or what mistakes they make? First of all, we'll have to think as a candidate that cybersecurity is not infra. Cybersecurity is not only network. And on the other hand, cybersecurity is not a separate part of the story. As I told you initially, this is the outermost layer of everything, covering everything, securing everything. To be in cybersecurity, you should have understanding about network. You should have understanding about infrastructure in terms of OS, operating systems, programs, applications, codes. Then you should have understanding how these things works. So when as you asked, I have interviewed so many people in SOC and in cybersecurity and other things. The major thing which I found is that people are centric to a specific area in IT as of now.
Okay.
This is the major issue. And if you are coming into cybersecurity, you don't need to be master of everything, but at least you should have a good understanding about everything. Otherwise, how will you understand that? If suppose I like being in cybersecurity, I don't know how a code works, how the program works. I don't understand what is variable.
Yes.
What is loop? What is array? What is memory? What is heap memory? If I don't understand those things, how will I secure it?
Right.
At least I should have that clear understanding. So this is what I felt, that people in a market, this is not their fault at all actually. They finish their colleges, they got a job, they go into the company, and then they do whatever they are asked to do by the company's management and their IT team, which they are in actually, and they are focused on that. What I would recommend is you should always keep learning other things also. Maybe it is not part of your job, but keep learning. You don't know, and you never know when will it come and help you.
Right.
So this is my understanding is that people are so subject centric this time. Subject centric means if somebody is going for an infrastructure job, he will go and see and try to learn what is server, what is exchange, what is network, what is that database.
Yes.
They focus on that and they prepare for that. This is my interview, so I'll prepare for that. There is no harm if you know beyond that also. What is the problem?
Correct.
A company who is hiring you, if they can see that you have skills other than just to manage my server, it's better for them, right? I mean, so this is something which I feel that nowadays I don't know what is the reason. Is it people? Are these the candidate who don't try to go beyond those things? People don't ask questions to themselves. I feel, back then when I was studying, as I shared the story, what if I would have not tested that statement, that is it true or not? I would have just agreed, okay, fine, like all other kids in my batch. So I would have never known that this is a wrong statement. And I would have reached to a level with this understanding only that you will have to pass length of the array with the array.
Right.
Right? So this is a misconception which you took, you digested, you never opposed, even to yourself. So you'll have to agree to it. So this is something which I feel is a problem right now.
I do agree, but Sonit, you know it very well. If I talk about the 2020, 2015 or afterwards, the candidates what we have, when they get a college placement, it, everything is so streamlined. I mean, at a particular level.
Correct.
If they get a good profile. So they're like started either into the software, either there's someone hired into the Windows or into the networks or to the database. So in today's, because yes, you are right, you're fortunate, of course, you got some circumstances that you learn that particular thing in that way, and that is your way of thinking. But if I talk about, because I'm a guy who's preparing the candidate nowadays, meeting a lot of people, job seeker or switch, they want to switch there. What I've noticed, this, of course, every interviewer want that my guy should have this and that knowledge.
Correct.
If I'm hiring a person in my team, I would have said the same thing. I really love if that guy is not limited to the MS Office or limited to the particular segment.
Correct.
I want यार चलो कभी मैंने टास्क दिया तो एटलीस्ट यू शुड नो हाउ टू स्टार्ट वर्किंग. अरे नहीं भी आता तो मेरे अंदर से एक फीलिंग रहती है कि why didn't you try?
Correct.
That is a different thing. But अभी जो मुझे लगता है कि जो what you have learned, the way the experience you have, that is really amazing. लेकिन आज के टाइम में ना ये जो कैंडिडेट्स हैं, जो आज एनवायरनमेंट बना हुआ है कंपनीज का, इतना स्पेसिफिक टू द गोल है ना, एक बार जॉब लग गई ना तो वो पूरा एंटरप्राइज एनवायरनमेंट है, उसमें बंदा रिपीटेडली वही टास्क कर रहा है. अगर SOC में है, NOC में है तो वही टिकट्स आ रही है, बच्चा 24 घंटे लगाओ उसको सेम चीजें ट्रबल शूटिंग करनी है. अब यहाँ पे आती है ईगरनेस वाली बात. तो कहीं ना कहीं एक मेजर जो आज के टाइम में ऑडियंस है, जो जॉब सीकर्स हैं, सो द मेन एम इज टू गेट गुड एंड गुड पैकेज. ज्यादा से ज्यादा वेरी फ्यू पीपल जो वो ना इंटरेस्ट वाला पार्ट आता है. इंटरेस्ट क्या है आपका? इंटरेस्ट है तो यू कैन डू व्हाट यू हैव डन. लेकिन नहीं, इफ माई गोल इज टू अर्न, बस मुझे जल्दी से सैलरी मिलने लग जाए, मुझे उसमें अब मुझे ये बताओ ग्रोथ कैसे मिलेगी. तो दे आर नॉट लाइक यार, वो फेमस डायलॉग है इतनी मूवीज में और कितने अच्छे से अच्छे लोगों ने रिकमेंड किया कि गो फॉर द नॉलेज, डोंट गो फॉर द मनी. पैसा तो अपने आप आने लगे. यू आर हियर बिकॉज यू हैव बीन इनटू दैट एनवायरनमेंट जो ऑटोमेटिकली सर्कमस्टेंसेस ऐसे बनने लगे दैट यू आर सिटिंग हियर. अगर आपने वो सब नहीं ट्राई किया होता तो बैक देन यू मस्ट बी देयर, यूपी के किसी टाउन में होते आप जहां आप से बिलोंग करते हो. करेक्ट. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि बहुत खराब हो रहा होता, बट ये जो एक्सपोजर द वर्ल्ड यू हैव सीन टुडे, जो बैकग्राउंड है आपका, तो आई डोंट थिंक सो. यू ऑलरेडी वर्कड इन नाइजीरिया एज वेल इंस्टेड ऑफ इंडिया. तो ये सब जो एक्सपीरियंस मिला है, गुड टू गो. अब मैं यहाँ पे कुछ क्वेश्चंस ये रखना चाहता हूँ कि जैसे कोई पॉडकास्ट देख रहा है हमारा, पहले सबसे पहले स्टार्ट करेंगे, कोई बिल्कुल फ्रेशर है. सो नाउ द पीपल हु आर वाचिंग द पॉडकास्ट, दे आर डिफरेंट सेगमेंट्स. अभी सबसे पहले उनकी बात करते हैं जो मार्केट में उन्होंने ग्रेजुएशन कर ली है, ठीक है, और कुछ पता नहीं था, रैंडम स्टार्ट कर दिया, किसी ने BPO में कर लिया, किसी ने सिस्टम एडमिन कर लिया, कोई किसी चीज में. नाउ दे अंडरस्टूड कि बहुत यार ये साइबर सिक्योरिटी बड़ा अच्छा डोमेन है. नाउ दे वांट टू कम इनटू द साइबर सिक्योरिटी. करेक्ट. नाउ गिव द सजेशन टू देम, कैसे वो साइबर सिक्योरिटी में आए.
ओके, सो अगेन इफ यू वांट टू कम टू साइबर सिक्योरिटी, there are so many ways. But again, you will have to actually gather some information about cybersecurity. Whenever you move into any field of IT, you should know about it. What you need to know, of course, the terminologies which are used, technologies, what exactly is the purpose of cybersecurity, how it operates, what is the scope of cybersecurity. So these type of things you'll have to learn, you'll have to understand. There are courses. I mean, the basic course which everybody can do is Certified Ethical Hacking, CEH. You can do it, and then you can start your career with cybersecurity from a basic level. But again, when I said that you should know many things, you can start your career with 1 or 2 certifications, and it will be good for you. Cybersecurity is a booming market right now everywhere. And as far as the data says, we are still only having 2% of professionals against what we need. So there will be vacancies everywhere all the time. But when I said that you should know other things also, why you should know other things being in cybersecurity? I just want to do the job in cybersecurity. I learn cybersecurity and that's it. But cybersecurity alone is nothing.
Correct.
Cybersecurity is for your network, your servers, your users, your data. So if you don't understand those areas, how will you secure that, or how will you understand? I met people whom I selected, and at the time of interview, I knew that they don't know anything.
Achha.
Why? Because, of course, the questions when you ask, they will say, yeah, I know that. But when you ask second level question, they don't know anything.
When you go little deeper.
Little bit, just one step deeper, then they cannot describe it.
Right.
Why is that? Because they learned it like a syllabus course, something. Okay, what is, for an example, what is threat? What is threat vector? What is an attack? What is the life cycle of attack? Everybody can learn it. Even a fresher from commerce can read for 3 hours and answer those questions. Right. It's fine. These are just terminologies. But when you come to operations, the challenges are different.
Okay.
Nobody will ask you what is threat. Nobody will ask you, okay, show me the attack cycle. What is attack vector? Nobody will tell you. They will expect you that you know this. Now, safeguard me. So as a fresher, suppose, as you said, that candidates, people are thinking that how to enter.
Right.
You can enter with those basic courses, basic understanding. But my suggestion, once you enter, keep enhancing your knowledge.
That's true.
Keep reading about anything which you don't know. That will increase and that will open prospects for yourself for future growth. I don't want that a person, the youth right now in India, will stuck in one seat, in one position, in one designation, and then after 5 years you are thinking, man, how to move out from here, because you don't know what is happening. So this is why I said you can start with, it's not very hard to move on to even cybersecurity. Back then when security started, people used to know that firewall is security. So whoever knows firewall is part of security team. So now also, even if somebody want to enter in the cybersecurity field, it's easy. Like any other field, you learn the basics, you start working in it, gather experience, try to put yourself in tough situations so that you can learn.
You can learn.
That's it.
So what I recommend most of the time, that if someone wants to enter into the cybersecurity, if you don't have that, technical background with the languages and all, so I would have easily asked them to go and learn about, easily start with the network basic, get some experience, understand the packet flow, then go to the firewalls, learn security,
Correct.
network security, understand
Correct.
how the things, what firewall works, what is this VPN and IPsec, all these, how these tunneling works and basic things. And then switch into the cybersecurity. I won't explain them what exactly you have to do into the cybersecurity, because itself is a big topic. There is a multiple option.
Correct.
SOC is there.
Yes.
VAPT is there. There's so many things, right? So GRC is there. So instead of explaining, I would rather suggest then come to the cybersecurity, because I think once you get into the security, which is the network security, which is a part of defensive, does this offensive defensive work into the real world?
Yes,
it is works. So
yes,
that's what
works.
I recommend them,
Correct.
to say they can start with the defensive world. And yes, if you're in, as you said, you must be eager. You should learn some certain language. You go with this, learn ethical hacking, start pen testing or anything related to the same bug
Everything
bounty.
is free in cybersecurity.
That's true. And then you can excel yourself, grow more. What do you suggest in that journey?
In terms,
what I have explained, what I'm suggesting them. So any amendment
you
you
are
want
correct.
to
I mean, what you said is perfectly correct, and this is what I was also trying to convey.
Okay.
You start with that because you cannot, simply jump into cybersecurity
Right.
as a fresher. This is what I understand. As you rightly said, that you need to know how firewall works, how network works. See, what is a firewall rule at all? If you don't even
Excellent.
know, because see, when you enter in the cybersecurity, you will have to deal with all that. अभी आपको नहीं पता है तो आप कैसे करोगे फिर?
True.
It's very tough for you to understand. Imagine that with a certification or some small training, you joined a SOC. Mm-hmm. What is SOC? SOC is your Security Operational Center. That is 24/7 operations. SOC analysts are sitting there and reading logs and alerts which are generated by your SIEM. Now, those logs, sometimes even professionals are not capable to read the logs properly. Okay? You being a cybersecurity professional, or you can say a person who just joined the SOC, but you are expected that you know how to read the logs. Because you'll have to deal with it. So that is why you need actually knowledge about everything. And when we say knowledge, or when I said that you should know, it doesn't mean that you should have experience of 5 years in each domain. No. At least you should know concepts. What is the concept of firewall? For an example, just aapne bola abhi. If you don't know what is a VPN, if you don't know how VPN works, if you don't know how firewall rule works, the other day when you were sitting in SOC, there is one alert. Okay, IP scanning is going on this IP. What will you do?
Exactly.
What do you understand? A port scanning is happening on that particular IP. What will you do? Do you understand what is port? Do you understand what does it mean if a port scanning is going on one IP? So all those concepts you should know, you should understand. That's why that knowledge is required.
What I understand, Sony, the people jump into the SOC because in India, and let me add one more thing. What is the reason behind this podcast? Because to just buzz that myth कि boss फटाफटी कोर्सेज कर लो, कुछ बेसिक ये पढ़ लो वो पढ़ लो और जंप इनटू दी सॉक. बंदा कैसे ना कैसे करके जल्दी से सॉक में घुसने की कोशिश करता है एंड दे रियलाइज कि हो गया, दिस इज दी साइबर सिक्योरिटी. एंड वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट इट कि यार तुम आ तो गए हो, अब तुम्हारे पास पोर्ट स्कैनिंग आ गई है, आईपी सेक का इशू आ गया है, तो व्हाट आई फाइंड कि बंदा उसमें जुगाड़ करने में लग जाता है. द जुगाड़, द टिपिकल इंडियन थिंग.
बड़ा अच्छा एग्जांपल देता हूं इसका.
प्लीज.
आर्मी, यस, डिफेंस, any country's army. We'll talk about Indian army maybe. Mm-hmm. Just take an example of Indian army. Take one unit of Indian army. Okay, we all know that if you want to go into army as an officer, you'll have to pass through NDA.
Exactly.
Correct? You'll have to go to NDA. Sorry, the training you have to take, then give prepare, exam. Pass, have training, and then you will become a lieutenant.
Yes.
Correct?
बिल्कुल ठीक.
Does our army only have lieutenants?
नहीं, obvious है.
No, but after NDA you become an lieutenant. There are other people also who are sipahi, who are normal cadre, which is lower than second lieutenant. They are called non-commissioned units. ठीक है. These are commissioned officers. Correct? So now you decide in which way you want to go, what you want to become. You can enter army as a sipahi also. बिल्कुल सही बात है. And you can enter army as a lieutenant also. Now it's up to you.
You decide.
So what you said is the same thing. You did something and you just entered in the cybersecurity, you will become a sipahi.
Exactly.
If you want to become a lieutenant, if you become an officer, then you need all that.
And अभी मेरे पास बहुत सारे कैंडिडेट आते हैं विद दिस रिक्वेस्ट, यार हम वी आर स्टक इनटू दिस पर्टिकुलर प्लेस, मैं स्विच नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ. इवन इन साइबर सिक्योरिटी आप तो इतनी बड़ी बड़ी बातें करते हो. यू कैन गेट व्हेन आई एम टेकिंग दी सेमिनार्स एंड वेबिनार, आई एम टेलिंग देम कि यार साइबर सिक्योरिटी इज ह्यूज, नॉट इन दुबई, इन इंडिया एज वेल. मैं कह रहा हूँ यार 30-40 लाख इट्स नॉट अ बिग डील. यहाँ पे आप 20-30,000 AED ले भी रहे हो, दिरहम कमा भी रहे हो, तो इट्स ओके, साइबर सिक्योरिटी है. बट दे आर अ स्टूडेंट, दे आर कैंडिडेट स्टक इनटू द 6 to 7 लाख. आई थिंक दिस इज द मेन रीजन कि वो उन्होंने जो आपने द एग्जांपल यू हैव गिवन कि भाई तुमने प्रिपरेशन पूरी करी नहीं, नाउ यू एंटर्ड एनीथिंग और नाउ यू स्टक. अब जब तक वो आगे अपग्रेड नहीं करेंगे, अपने आप में सीखेंगे नहीं, तो आई थिंक दैट इज अ रियली डिफिकल्ट टास्क फॉर देम. सो व्हाट्स योर कॉल ऑन इट कि अगर हाँ भाई बढ़ना है और आगे जाना है, तो व्हाट इज द मेन इंस्टेंस दैट दे हैव टू फोकस ऑन?
सी, दिस इज द सेम थिंग इन IT, नॉट इन साइबर सिक्योरिटी.
सही है, फैक्ट है.
Full whole IT sector, keep learning. You'll have to keep learning. As I give you the example of Indian Army, yes, this differentiation between two type of positions defines the way that how you think, how you will work, and where you will reach. एक ऑफिसर जो इंडियन आर्मी का है, he has responsibility for planning, for what do you say, for assessment, for planning, strategic decisions. बाकी जो यूनिट है उसे क्या करना है, फॉलो करना है,
राइट,
करेक्ट. तो सेम थिंग गोज विद अदर प्रोफेशंस ऑल्सो. यहाँ पे बात फिर आती है कि आप कैसे ग्रो करोगे. अगेन कीप लर्निंग. IT market is very fragile. It's very fast moving. You learn today. If you start learning today, maybe by the time you will finish learning that, new technology will come in the market.
अपग्रेडेशन
फिर आपको दूसरा समझना पड़ेगा, दूसरे की पढ़ाई करनी पड़ेगी. But this is the way how IT works. And the same thing goes with cybersecurity.
True.
Cybersecurity is even faster. Why? Because we are talking about security. Concepts, logics will be same, areas will be same, but technology is fasting every second. It's changing every second. So in cybersecurity also, you'll keep learning new technologies, what is happening in the market, what are the different solutions which are in the market, or what are the recent kind of attacks, type of malwares, type of threats which are there. Posed on different victims. So this is all knowledge which you'll have to gather. There is no course for it anyways, but you'll have to achieve that habit that I want to learn this.
You're
Otherwise, you cannot stay for long.
Perfect. So एक SOC में if someone wants to start in Dubai, तो कहाँ से कितने तक पैकेज मिल जाता है बंदे को on an average?
देखिए SOC में if you are willing to come to Dubai में पैकेज है SOC analyst का. It starts from 6 to 7,000, goes till 14,000.
अच्छा, SOC की प्रोफाइल
analyst, yeah.
It's a good package.
Yeah, it's a very good package. If you compare from India, even managers are not getting this much of package.
This is really owned.
Yes. So yes, the package is still 14,000 here, but again, your knowledge, your thought process, your understanding about the cybersecurity, your performance matters. It is not that anybody can, achieve that package.
तो आपकी क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन होगी if you are hiring me और मेरा if this बंदे को 10,000 से ऊपर देना पड़ेगा दिरहम, तो क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन होगी कि मेरे से क्या नॉलेज की एक्सपेक्टेशन होगी आपको?
See,
what is the main parameter that you are going to judge me? Is that a correct profile or not?
Okay, so from my side personally, when I interview any candidate, my first thing is to understand what do you know about cybersecurity. First of all, of course, because I'm hiring you for cybersecurity, for my SOC. Have you ever worked in SOC or not? Do you understand those terminologies which we are going to use? How the logs are read? Do you understand different type of threats, different type of attacks? Do you understand what is brute force? Do you understand what is password spraying? Do you understand what is identity threat, identity based threats actually? Do you understand attacks which can happen on my Active Directory? How does it look? How will you detect it? So, understanding about it, because this is which is going to be your bread and butter, which is going to be your 24/7 operations. So you should at least know that. Everybody cannot know everything. That is also a fact. But yes, first of all, you should know the basics. For me, that okay, basics are clear. And you know basics just not for the sake of knowing them. You understand them actually.
कोई ऐसा क्वेश्चन यू वांट टू शेयर विद मी कि यार मैं पूछता हूँ बच्चा वहाँ पे?
मैं आपको बताता हूँ, मेरा एक फेवरेट क्वेश्चन है जो मैं अक्सर कैंडिडेट से पूछता हूँ.
सभी के कोई ना कोई फेवरेट क्वेश्चन होते हैं.
तो मेरा भी एक फेवरेट क्वेश्चन है. When I take interview, I ask that tell me the difference between a brute force attack and a password spraying attack.
अच्छा.
Okay. 90% candidates confused.
ठीक है.
With this question. Why? And it's a very clear, very big difference between these two.
Okay.
I'll tell you the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Answer is brute force attack when you know the username but you don't know the password.
अच्छा.
So what you do, You try to create rainbow tables, combinations of passwords which can fit, and you try to attack that username with different passwords. So that is your brute force attack. On the other hand, your password spraying attack is just reverse of it. You know the password. Somehow you got a working password, but you don't know for which username.
Okay.
So what you do, you use that password and try to change the username. So that is the difference. It's a very basic difference. It's not a very techy question. It is not a very complex question. It's a very basic question. But why I ask this? It tells me that a person who is giving me answer, has he just learned for the sake of exam clearance or for the sake of interview, or he understand the technicality behind it? So this is what happens actually.
How to identify? This is the way to identify the reality.
There are other ways also, but yes, this is a favorite question which I ask, and many times it gives me the right candidate. As I told you that you won't believe that when I was in Africa, first of all, it was very hard to find people and bring them to Africa because people are afraid of Nigeria.
True.
Why, I don't know. But I have been there for 3.5 years, and it was a very good time for me also. Good learning also. I built the whole SOC from scratch. I got a chance to do it, fortunately. So that time I was building the SOC team for 24/7 monitoring. It was too hard to find candidates for SOC as a SOC analyst. And the reason is the same. People who are working with big companies in India, I don't want to take the name, but the big top companies who are providing that, SOC as service, cybersecurity as service, candidates working in those companies, when they came, they could not answer those questions. So I was literally surprised. How is it possible? This is irony. I mean, I would say it's very unfortunate to see that.
It is. And even though you don't know about NG as well, no?
Yeah, maybe. I didn't know that.
But back then, the period of time,
we never met, yes.
Okay, so this is something very common. ठीक है, अभी ये हो गया. तो अभी हम बात करते हैं SOC की. अगर मैं SOC की आपके एक्सपर्टीज की बात करूँ SOC की, तो SOC में ऐसी क्या की पॉइंटर्स हैं, क्या की चीजें हैं जिससे कि एक बंदा अपने आप को अपग्रेड कर सकता है? मैं बिल्कुल स्पेसिफिक पूछूंगा, लाइक कि क्या सजेस्ट करोगे कि यार इफ यू आर इन SOC और अपने आप को अपग्रेड करना चाह रहे हो या फिर सैलरी पैकेज बढ़वाना है, दुबई जैसी कंट्री में आके सेटल होना है, तो व्हाट आर द की पॉइंटर्स?
इन SOC ओनली?
पहले SOC की बात कर लेते हैं.
देखिए, SOC में अगर आप जाएंगे तो अगेन द सेम थिंग विल कम अप. You can start SOC with normal monitoring profile. You can go sit behind a screen. Alerts are there. You will see the alert. You will analyze them. Of course, as a basic start, you should know how to analyze them. Your mind, your thought process should be analytic. It should not be that, okay, I've seen something and raised it. No. Your mind should be analytic. You need to ask questions. Why this log is telling me this? What could be behind it? So this kind of analytic skills are required.
Okay.
Later on, you can enhance your understanding, your knowledge based on your current operations also. You can go into threat hunting.
Okay.
Threat hunting is again the part of SOC itself.
Okay.
So what is threat hunting? I mean, for your candidates, if they want to understand. In general, in SOC, you have a SIEM application, which is gathering all logs, analyzing it, and detecting certain behaviors. Okay, that these behaviors are malicious. So that's how an alert is generated. Threat hunting means alert are not generating, but you will go through the logs which are coming in, dropping in. You'll have to see the pattern. If SIEM is missing it somehow, maybe they don't have use case. The logic behind it, the algorithm behind it is not able to detect that pattern, but you can see that with your understanding, with your knowledge, you can detect that, okay, this is something which is happening and it's weird. What is it? So this is called threat hunting. You'll go to the raw logs, reading them. You can develop that skill. If you develop that skill, even being in SOC itself, it will benefit you very much. Because by doing threat hunting, you will learn so many things.
True.
how the log work, how a threat works, how it looks like, what all is happening in your network, in your environment. You can see that. You know that movie Matrix?
Yes, of course.
So everybody saw it, right? So the fascinating part of the Matrix is when everything converts into the rolling numbers, right?
Yes.
To that green color everywhere. And when it happens, when that
They entered into
lead
the-
guy got some extra power or something, and
right.
then everything converts into the binary codes and everything.
Yes.
So that depicts the understanding in the depth. When you see the raw logs, they will look like the same. When you start scanning, skimming those logs in front of your eyes, you will understand so many things. So many things. See, it's very good to use books, to use the summarized material to understand, to learn anything. But again, the best way is still the long way. I mean, होता है ना, जैसे अपन लोग क्या करते हैं कि नोट्स पढ़ लिए,
ठीक है,
12th के एग्जाम देने होते हैं, 10th के एग्जाम देने होते हैं. सो व्हाट वी डू, वी डिपेंड अपॉन क्वेश्चन बैंक. 10 साल के क्वेश्चंस करो,
कुछ नहीं करना, पास होना है तो 10 साल
you
वाली
can
पढ़
do
जाओ.
it. But still the best way is the long way, the way where you need to
learn from the basics.
Read every chapter, learn everything.
ठीक है.
So I would say
this is the best.
This is the best way.
ठीक है. अब मैं पूछता हूँ, let's say consider one of your younger sibling और या कोई he or she, like आपका brother या sister है या कोई बंदा है, you want to, who is into the SOC, और वो पूछा कि यार मुझे क्या सोनित, मुझे क्या करना चाहिए, how I can upgrade myself, क्या future देखूँ आगे, मैं कैसे upgrade करूँ, what do you suggest with your experience?
देखिए, cyber security में if you want to see the path, again there are so many articles, so many things which are told to everyone. There are courses. Again, we'll come back to courses because this is the first thing which every candidate think of.
राइट, मैं इसको ब्रेक डाउन कर देता हूँ. पहले आप इससे पहले कोर्सेज बताओ, क्योंकि कैंडिडेट्स शायद उनको नहीं पता होता, लेकिन दे आर डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ. मैं पहले हम क्या करेंगे, अभी से उनको बता देते हैं कि दे आर कैंडिडेट जिनको टेक्निकली इतना साउंड नहीं है, मतलब लैंग्वेजेस एंड ऑल, तो उनके लिए पहले रिकमेंड करेंगे. फिर दूसरा जो ईगर है कि यार ठीक है, मैं पाइथन भी सीख लूंगा, मैं ये भी कर लूंगा, थोड़ा टेस्टिंग वेस्टिंग वाला काम भी कर लूंगा, तो एक उनको रिकमेंड करेंगे. तो दोनों को लेके चलते हैं, ठीक है. और एक जो मुझे पता है इन्फो सिक्योरिटी, वो भी मैं आपसे एडवाइस लूंगा, खुद ही आंसर नहीं दूंगा, कि तीसरा सेक्शन वो भी लेके चलेंगे कि वो भी एक उसको बकेट में रख सकते हैं. इस तरीके से आंसर लेते हैं.
सो पहले बात करते हैं द basic one, fresher one who doesn't have anything, maybe knowledge of IT and all.
उसने SOC में काम कर लिया, लेकिन
SOC में काम कर लिया है. he has CEH, I mean ethical hacking type के courses हैं, security plus ethical hacking, ये सारे courses आपको वो basic SOC based understanding आपको देते हैं. देखिए, उसके बाद अगर आपके पास दो रास्ते हैं आगे जाने के लिए. You can move on to offensive part of security.
ठीक है.
From defensive part of security. So offensive के लिए जाना है तो you have courses like OSCP, and there are many other who pushes you and help you to go into red teaming.
ठीक है.
The candidates who don't understand red teaming, so there is a concept of red team, blue team, and purple team in cybersecurity. Red team means the team of people.
Offensive part.
The offensive part, who actually acts as attackers. Blue team is again defensive part, who acts as cybersecurity professionals, defenders. That okay, they will make an attack, they will try to defend it, so that they will learn how to detect that kind of attack. So this is the red team and blue team concept. But after that, new concept of purple team has come, where attackers and defenders are same. So I am myself creating an attack, trying to simulate the attack, and then I will see, okay, this attack is simulated, what kind of logs are generated, how the path can be detected, how this thing can be detected, and then
so experienced person with the red and the blue comes into the purple.
So that's how it is purple. So the same thing. So then you can move on to those set of courses. You know, OSCP is one of the courses. You can take other courses for VAPT. It is called penetration testing.
Penetration testing with the
so you can go into penetration testing. That will lead you towards offensive part of it. Now, in defensive part, you can be in a blue team. You can go into incident response. or you can then move on to the GRC part,
ठीक है.
which you can say the governance part. Basically,
Governance
we will
part.
not say GRC; it will be a governance part. Means, okay, till when you will work as a SOC analyst? There is a limit, right?
Absolutely
So
correct.
for few years you worked in SOC. Now you want to move on.
Right.
So now you don't want to go into offensive also.
Right.
You will go to defensive. Okay, fine. Now I'll learn that how to harden my controls. You can have expertise into security solutions.
ठीक है.
For an example, endpoint security solutions, WAFs, IPS.
That's right.
So these kind of things you can learn. You can move on to security operations where you can deploy controls to defend actually.
So do they need the language knowledge in this part?
No, I'll tell you when the language is required.
ठीक है.
So this is the defensive part.
This is the
again.
defensive part. So the person who's not into that technical background and like don't want to go in immediately, so they can come and start here.
Correct. So
this is the first option for them.
I'm talking about the person who is already working in SOC.
They are working in SOC. Yes, we
SOC.
are talking about the people who are working in SOC.
Correct. So because they have that understanding, that knowledge about basic cybersecurity, so they can move on to SecOps where they can have, they can manage those solutions. They can manage those kind of applications which are security oriented applications or solutions. So they can work on that. Then when you come to governance is not only the technical part. Governance is the strategic decision making part where you don't need to go and you don't need to have a hands-on experience or not experience, hands-on work to do on those solutions or SOC or whatever. GRC is again a centric way of understanding the whole architecture and the whole cybersecurity practice. That's why it is called governance.
Yeah.
So you will think about controls, you will think about gaps, you will think about risk, then you will think about compliances. Then you will also have to suggest and work upon how to close it, how to remediate them. So this whole will come as a GRC part. GRC, then after that, with GRC, you can move on to senior positions.
Okay.
Right? Now in the offensive part. If you go to offensive part, then you need a certain level of coding, understanding of that coding. Why? Because offensive part is not technically easy.
True.
This is the technically harder part of cybersecurity because you are dealing with codes 80% time. Whether you generate it from Kali Linux or you are making the code on your own.
Right.
You need to understand that coding, what is it? So as I said initially, that practicing is free. The whole bunch of tools and everything is freely available with Kali Linux and people can download it, use it. When I started learning cybersecurity on my own again, I used to have one of my laptops. There were 34 VMs which I have created, to just practice that. One for SIEM, one for firewall, one for different tools, one for Kali, one for Windows, one for this. So everyone can do it.
Right.
You can deploy it at your home. All are free. You don't need to pay for anything. So create those VMs, deploy Kali, try to learn how to do it. But if you want to move on to offensive security, yes, you will have to know coding. You will have to know programming because later on, when you will go into the offensive security and you want to excel, this will become your showstopper.
You're right.
So you should know about it.
Correct. So these are the options they can easily start.
Correct.
That's a precise answer what I'm looking for. So we are almost coming to the end. So now I want to know if you want to, or someone want a job in India, wants to come into the Dubai, you want a job in Dubai. What do you recommend? You're an experienced guy in Dubai hiring from this many years. So what do you want to recommend them? How they can make the career?
How to search the job or how to start?
Make the career means search the job in a good level, in a good company at a good level. So yeah, in that way.
Again, searching the job is again your platforms which you have on social media. Not social media, but yes, you have LinkedIn, you have NOC portals, different kind of Gulf portals also.
Yes.
You can use them.
Now you can recommend them to come to us.
Or they can reach to you also. Of course, there are consultants. There are people who are helping those people to upskill them.
Yes.
And then come to the market. That is also another reason.
Basically, I want to know the key points, because you and me the other day was discussing that people in India are having that fear, having that hesitation to,
correct,
cross the border, find the job.
So that is